Hi, welcome to SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing the 2013 NHL Playoffs right now with Ross Benjamin from rbwins.com, and we're going to take a look at the Western Conference Finals. Fascinating matchup between the Kings and the Blackhawks. Ross Benjamin, thanks for being back with us.
It's great to be back. Thank you, Peter.
All right, very interested to hear what you have to say about this series and the series prices involved. Before we get into it, tell us a little bit about rbwins.com.
Well, that's my URL, rbwins.com, where you can find me, not only myself, but 7 other great handicappers. Right now, Peter, I'm on a tremendous roll. My pay selections in all sports, 39-20. That's good for 66% over my last 59. My NHL playoffs, how about 8-1 the last 9, 11-2 the last 13. Best part of the site, when you go there and you buy a single game package or a single game selection for myself or any other of the great 7 handicappers at my site, you get our personal guarantee, Peter. If you don't win, you get your money back. That's rbwins.com.
All right, excellent. rbwins.com. Ross Benjamin, thanks for being back with us. Glad to have you here. All right, the Kings and the Blackhawks. Now, this is, of course, the conference finals are always going to be fascinating matchups with very tight lines. Right now, the Blackhawks are minus 144 to win the series. The Kings are plus 130. Now, when this matchup got finalized, I was thinking what I expected the price to be. I mean, obviously, you have to make the Blackhawks a favorite here. You know, they have home ice advantage, and they have, arguably a talent edge on the ice. But I was expecting a little bit lower. I was expecting minus 125, minus 128, something like that. So I was a teeny bit surprised that when I saw minus 144 and the Kings at plus 130 on the other side. I mean, obviously, we know what the issues are here. The Blackhawks are supremely talented, but they did get challenged by Detroit, and Detroit kind of set up a blueprint for how to beat them that arguably the Kings are going to be even better at with a better goalie and a team more suited to physical play. What do you think? You like the Kings here at plus 130?
I like the Chicago Blackhawks minus 144. Okay. There's a reason why this line is where it is, Peter. Home ice is going to be a major deal here. If you look at the regular season and playoff records of both teams home and away, the Chicago Blackhawks have won 24 of 31 against the money line at home. The LA Kings, on the other hand, in spite of them being one of the best teams in hockey, they have a dismal 9-21 mark against the money line on the road, including 1-5 in the playoffs. That's why this line, or money line, I should say, for the series may be a little higher than you may have expected and a lot of people may have expected, but I think it's right on. I like Chicago. I just think they're a superior team from top to bottom. The only advantage, and it's a clear advantage, that the Kings have is with Jonathan Quick in goal. This guy is not only one of the best goaltenders in the United States, he's the best goaltender in the world right now, the way he's playing. A .948 save percentage in the playoffs. Corey Crawford hasn't been that bad as well.
Right.
You're looking at a guy who's .938 in the playoff save percentage for a guy that they weren't sure who they were going to use in goal come playoff time. He's really stepped it up. I really like the Blackhawks. I think the home ice will make a major difference here. I think they're relieved. They got by a series by the skin of their teeth against Detroit, a series in which a lot of people expected them to win quite easily, and that wasn't the case. And I think they know they have to be better this series, Peter, and I think they'll step it up, and Chicago gets the playoff series win. And I like 2 of the original 6 to be in the Stanley Cup playoffs, Stanley Cup final, Chicago and Boston.
Oh, you make great points about home ice and Corey Crawford. Obviously, the Kings get a huge advantage with home ice when they have last change, so they can get the best matchups against the Blackhawks as they can. And then when the Blackhawks have last change, there's going to be probably some mismatches on the ice. And of course, Crawford, if Crawford were having a subpar series, the Hawks might not even be here. But he's really been only a third of a notch less impressive than Jonathan Quick. But I'm looking at this series. I agree with you. I think home ice is going to be huge. The Kings will at least win at least 2 games at home, though, don't you think? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think so as well. Again, when you really break it down and simplify everything, it's who out of both teams can get a big road win if they need to in a must situation. Mm-hmm. I think Chicago is the more likely of the 2 candidates, especially in light of the fact they were 17-9 on the road against the money line this season. And again, I hate to keep being redundant, but the Kings haven't woke up on the road in the playoffs either. 1-5 on the road in the playoffs. You add all that up, the whole body of work. I like the Chicago Blackhawks to get to the Stanley Cup Finals.
So you're not worried about the Kings bringing just huge physicality and frustrating the Hawks in the same way that the Red Wings did, except maybe being able to do it even more effectively?
Yeah, it's a concern, but I mean, I've weighed that all in. I think that the Blackhawks know that they have to play better. I think that they played very lackluster. I think that they went into that series against Detroit thinking they were going to win that hands down. That was a Detroit team that barely made the playoffs, if not for a strong run in the last week of the regular season. In Chicago, again, their domination during the regular season might left them a little bit less hungry going into that series than Detroit was. I think they'll be mentally prepared for this series. Yes, it'll be a physical challenge, but I like the Blackhawks here.
All right, great preview. Ross Benjamin from rbwins.com. Thanks so much. Now let's talk about the Game 1 lines.